In modern Protestant Christianity, spiritual gifts are supernatural abilities or capacities given by the Holy Spirit to individual believers, not for personal gain, but to serve and build up the Christian church. When growing up in the church, this felt empowering, but looking back, I see through the scam. This list of spiritual gifts is carefully prescribed to enforce organizational hierarchy and to inspire churchgoers to further invest in the cause. For example, if your spiritual gift is generosity, you'd feel more compelled to put more money in the offering plate. This spiritual sorting hat is ripe with bias and not an accurate assessment of a person's individual skills or potential. It also reinforces stereotypes related to gender. If you believe God gives special gifts and powers to his followers, call us because the show is starting now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Today is January 18th, 2026. I am your host, Objectively Dan, and joining me today is Ben. Of course, welcome, Ben, back to another episode of Talk Heathen, baby. Talk Heathen is a live call-in show, and we have open lines, so get your calls in at 512-991-9242 or from your computer at tiny.cc/call-TH. We are live every single Sunday at 1 p.m. Central Time on YouTube. But remember, if you cannot make it for whatever reason, you can find wherever you get your podcasts, the links to the show, and find it on Patreon as well. I'm hearing some background noise. Anybody else hearing some background noise there? Maybe that's on my end. I can figure that out. Anyway, oh, you know what? That's from my phone. I had my guys. I had my phone. I had the stream on my phone, and I was hearing my own voice. How long have I been fucking doing this? You know, I thought I should be doing better at this.
Move.
What a
rookie moves.
Oh my! I was like, who is that? Who's messing up? It was me. It was me, y'all. Oh, that's dumb. Anyway, well, okay, we're live. It's happening. Ben, what's going on, man? How are you?
It's going, and I do have to give the announcement because I believe this is my first show back after the new year, and I no longer belong to the military, so that's super cool.
Yeah, I don't know how much you want to get into that, but that's a whole thing, you know, Dr. Ben not in the military anymore, so you can't there's not going to be any moments where you're out in the combat and say doing CPR on soldiers or anything, you know, unless it's a soldier just happens to be sort of like on the ground and you're kind of available.
Yeah, right? Yeah. But I'm a civilian, so that's super fun. So there might be some changes coming soon. Like I can paint my nails now, so I'm going to take advantage of that.
Yeah,
I can dye my hair unnatural colors, so that might be coming down the pipeline. We're having a great time with it. So if you see some weird things, that's just me having some fun because nobody can tell me no.
Yeah, speaking of dye hairs, I just had my birthday recently. I just turned 30, and my wife, I've been saying for years I should like dye my hair a color like blue, like she has it. And you know what she got me for my birthday? She got me some blue hair dye. So you know what? But I also like work a job and stuff, and that might make it difficult, you know, because it's like a client facing one. So maybe I do just the tips. You know, could you see me with some blue?
Just the tip? Just the tip,
Ben.
Yeah.
Just the tip, you know. I think we could make it happen. I don't know. Something I'm playing with. But anyway, folks, you know, as you know, Talk Heathen is a product of the atheist community of Austin, a 501c3 nonprofit organization dedicated to the promotion of atheism, critical thinking, secular humanism, and the separation of religion and government. And there's a whole bunch of people that help make this show happen every single week. And in fact, we can show you who they are right now. If you go to that crew cam, you can see that it's not just me and Dr. Ben. We got a bunch of other people. And that's just the ones who are willing to show their face right now. There's some other ones as well. But, you know, here we go. Oh, there's more people. That's just Greg. Doesn't count. He doesn't do anything. But everybody else, you know, they work really hard and they do a lot of things. So, you know, that's some of the folks that help make this show happen. And just a reminder, if you want to volunteer, you can absolutely do that. And we have that ability for you. But, you know, Ben and I were talking about something before, and we want to do something before we get to calls today. Ben, you want to explain what we were talking about a little bit?
Yeah, so I had kind of, I don't know what prompted me to remember this, but I grew up evangelical, and there was a big thing back then of people taking quizzes to find out what their spiritual gifts are.
Yes.
And it was just such a ridiculous thing. And looking back on it, like it's definitely a way for religion to keep you in your lane, but to allow you some kind of diversity to where you feel good about yourself and you feel like you have something to offer the church, and then they can exploit your labor. Or tell you that because you have a certain spiritual gift, here's the job that you should do. And so it makes you think that you're unique. It makes you think that you have something to put in extra effort for, but really it's just to exploit people.
Definitely. I think like you can see it that way. I think like you can see it as a way to give yourself a role and give yourself a sense of purpose in the church, and also as a way to exploit people. Right? I think that's what's kind of insidious about it, because it's like it can absolutely be a tool for self-empowerment. It can also be a way for somebody to get free labor off of you. Like it can go both ways. So we were thinking we should do our own little spiritual gift quiz right before the beginning here, so we can figure out what our spiritual gifts are. Because how are we going to best serve the church, Ben? What are we going to do at the Atheist Community of Austin, right? I mean, it's the least we could do after all the shit we've talked for how many years now. And to do that, let's bring in our backup host today. We have a Flabbergasted who's joining us today. Flabbergasted, what's up, man?
Not much. Just enjoying the fact that I can paint my fingernails.
Yeah. You know what? Absolutely. That's a civilian right, baby. Everybody can do it. So I have this. I agree. I have this test here from giftstest.com, and let's just go through it as I take the quiz. I know Ben already took the quiz, and I think Flabbergasted, you took it too. So maybe we can talk about your results afterwards. Just a couple questions here. They're all answered from 1 to 5, 1 being never, 5 being always. So I'm going to quickly read through these. The first one is, I like organizing services and events. See, already there's the labor coming in. Yeah. How good are you at doing shit? I enjoy that somewhat. I may have put a 3 or something. I don't know, maybe a little more. I enjoy starting new churches. I think that's a 1 for me, dog. I don't know. Starting a new church might be fun, because does church count as cult? Because maybe starting a cult.
Yeah, it doesn't say it has to be a Christian church.
It just has to be a Christian church, right? Okay, maybe I'm actually changing my mind. Maybe I go a little higher on that one. Working with my hands is fun for me. I think that there's a "that's what she said" in there. You could probably fit. A little bit of that. I don't know.
That's working. That's working.
Yeah, something's in there. Almost lost my tab. I can tell when someone here. I'm going to move it actually over to the screen. What's the point of having dual monitors if I don't take advantage of it? I can tell when someone is insincere. That's an interesting one. Do you get Christian superpowers to tell when someone's insincere? Is that part of the Holy Spirit?
I feel like, it depends, because I feel like a lot of us have a pretty good bullshit meter now after leaving religion.
That's true.
I can tell that Joel Osteen is not being sincere most of the time.
That's true. Okay, I'm gonna put myself higher on that one. I pray for the lost daily. That's a 1 for me, dog. I ain't doing that. Encouraging others is a high priority in my life. I like to encourage people. I'll give that one a higher one. Believing God for our daily needs is important to me. Is that important to y'all?
No. So important. So important. Okay, I need Jesus to refill my cereal in the morning. Without that, I don't know how I would manage.
Absolutely. Influencing others for the kingdom of God through finances is extremely important to me. That's awesome.
I think we found the religious extortion.
There it is. Already. Yeah, there it is. Don't forget to donate to the Patreon, guys, just so you know. We're
sending the offering plate around. Make sure to put
super chats.
Put enough money in there.
That's a 1. I look for opportunities to pray for the sick. Yeah, not doing that. I'll help people out though with time and money and other resources. I enjoy doing the little things that others do not. Why is that a spiritual gift? Right. I enjoy the little things. That's just being a person, dog. Like, what do you mean? I don't know.
See, I read that as like doing little things others do not. So some people really, really hate doing like the little kind of nuanced chores around the house, and some people love them. Yeah. Most people hate like emptying the dishwasher. Some people are like, oh, it's cathartic. So I don't know, maybe it's something like that.
Just a reminder too, folks, I know some of you are waiting in the queue, but we do have open lines. We'll love to talk to you in just a second. I think what we might do is we might do some of these and maybe we'll take a break and then we'll continue maybe in between calls, you know, because there's quite a few here, but let's do a few more for now.
Let's do that.
Having people over to my house is something I do often. Again, that's what she said, I think right there. So I would put 5 on
stretching for those a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm working with what I got here, flabbergasted. Okay. Spending hours in prayer for other people is very enjoyable to me. Hours. Yeah, that's a long time. You ever
those are hours you could spend doing things for other people instead. Like,
yeah, that's true. That's a 1 for me.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet actually doing something to help people is not a spiritual gift.
Yeah, it's like the spiritual gift of laziness, that like the laziness to not actually go do something and instead just say, "Oh, actually, I'm praying about it, so I don't have to. I don't have to go help."
But I find in that scenario, you know, they get like it's like those revivals they're doing, you know, where people are going to church and they're spending like hours on their knees praying and stuff. That's probably what they're talking about there.
There's a that's what she said in that one though. Just for reference, you missed that one.
Yeah. I get insights about others while praying for them, even though I don't know them. Ooh, that's called making shit up.
I know more about you than you do.
Yeah,
because God told me so. Even though.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, flabbergasted. I'm getting an insight about you right now. I think your favorite color is purple. You know,
it's not, but it is a good color.
Well, it actually is, and you don't know it yet.
Fuck.
Yeah.
God, I guess I'm waiting for God to enlighten me.
God designed you to have purple as your favorite color. Did you know that?
I do purple. I do have purple.
Oh yes. Yeah, okay. Here, so. Look, hey, look at those nails.
Yeah.
See, that's
so purple. Yeah. See, you know me better than I do. Thank you, prayer and Jesus.
Spiritual,
bro. See, the other thing too is I got an insight from God recently that Dan is actually a piece of shit. And
oh damn!
Like you could use this. You could use this to start a schism in the church. Like, no, I got this revelation that this pastor down the street is actually a con man, and you shouldn't go to church anymore.
The problem is that would actually be closer to accurate. The problem is they'd all be right about each other with that accusation.
Yeah, that's true. All right, I'm putting a 5 on that one because I think I totally called you on the purple. I tend to motivate others to get involved. That's what that means, you know. Yeah. I don't know. I guess so. I'll put 4. We're activists. We motivate people, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
let's do that. My heart hurts when I see others hurting. Do you have empathy?
Called empathy.
Yes, I do.
Is that a supernatural gift now? Empathy? I thought that was just like part of being a decent human being.
In this day and age, flabbergasted, I think it is. I really think so. I believe God will use me to enact his miracles. That's pretty, I mean, you got to feel pretty good about yourself to say that one, right? Like, I'm being used for miracles every day, you know? I'm going to say 1 on that. Caring for the hurting is paramount in my eyes. Sure. Yeah. I'll agree with that.
Humanism. That's humanism right there.
Again, that's just being a nice person. I agree. The willful sin of others really aggravates me.
Now, I love the willful sin of others. Like, be as gay as you want. Like, I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm not too upset about the gays. You know what I mean? I'm chill with it. So that's a 1 for me. I enjoy serving behind the scenes. Well, you know, I'm a host. You know, I don't do the behind the scenes as much, and I haven't done it in a while. So
I feel like all 3 of us should have answered 1 to that one.
Yeah, we're obnoxious hosts. We don't do the behind the scenes stuff as much as we should. We'll do 1 more for now. I take pleasure in explaining God's word to others. Yeah, because we talk about that a lot, right?
No, actually, how you should interpret this part of the Bible is the way that I think is best.
We do that a lot.
I think that counts. I'm going to count that. Okay, one more. God has used me to interpret a heavenly language.
Wow.
No, never. I'm going to say never, unless you count some of the bullshit people are spitting on the air.
I think that counts.
that's a heavenly language I'm interpreting.
I think religious BS is a heavenly language to them.
Yeah. Okay, we'll take a break from that. From now, we'll get to our first call here. Flabbergasted, we'll put you back behind the scenes here. As Ben and I will get ready to take the first call. Thanks for joining us in this.
Closet, Flabbergasted, back in the closet.
Flabbergasted going back in the closet. That's right. Just shoving them back in there.
my spiritual gift is shoving people back in the closet. That's
that's true. Learning. Yeah, I like that one. That'd be awesome. Yeah, if that was a spiritual gift on there, putting people back in the closet. Oh, that's really funny. Okay, so I guess I don't have anything. Do I need to say anything else, Ben? I think we should just jump right to our caller here. Right?
Let's do it.
Okay, let's do it. Well, we're talking to Philip first. Philip in Kansas, you are live on Talk Heathen. What is going on, Philip?
Hey, thanks for taking the call. I wanted to discuss a little bit about immigration policy and then how the ethics applies to Christianity. So then if you're willing to continue that conversation, to apply it to an upcoming ban that's supposed to be released via State Department next week for 75 countries for legal immigration.
So here's the problem is that we are a nonprofit organization. So our ability to talk about direct policies like that is very limited, unfortunately. It's not that we, agree or disagree. It's just we have guidelines that kind of prevent us from being very specific about, commenting on specific policies, if that makes sense. So I'm cool with talking about the general concept of immigration, especially as it pertains to Christianity. I think that's fascinating, but we have to be really careful about, the specifics. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, yeah. And if we're going to talk about that, I would like to apply the ethics to it versus policy. More ethics than policy.
Okay, yeah. Are you cool with that, Ben? I think we can work with that.
Yeah, and I actually just pulled up a bunch of biblical references about immigration, and because there's a ton of them. The Bible talks a lot about immigration.
It does. No, a lot of people I feel like are surprised about that, but yeah, the Bible says a lot about immigration in general. And we talk about ethics from the Bible all the time. So I'm cool with talking about immigration as it relates to the Bible. I think that's on brand for us. So yeah, go ahead, Philip.
Yeah, so it's interesting because what I see in the speakings of Jesus, for the most part, for the red letter type of this that we talk about, is that he would be, more of a open borders. I'm not even saying open borders, but like help those who need help, and that's what you see in the New Testament Bible. He helps the Samaritan example. He helps people that were the outcast for his society, and gives them the ability to do better. If you take the Gospels as true. And he also talks in most of the Gospels, but not all of them, about abolishing the old law, except for, I forget which Gospel it is, where he says, I could come to fulfill that law, and every letter of the law will stay, basically. So what I see in like the New Testament Jesus part of it is that he would be against, banning borders, treating people not as people, basically taking them, shipping them to third world countries that are not their own countries, dehumanizing people as people. But however, I think the interesting thing is when you look at the Old Testament and you apply the Old Testament, is that the Old Testament fully supports immigration policy for dehumanizing people, setting people in their own groups and isolating those groups to be their own, again, pitting them against other groups. For instance, when you look at when the Israelites, if you take the literal Bible for true, when the Israelites go back to the Promised Land and they basically slaughter people, they commit genocide, and they just take over whatever they want to take over because it's supposed to be God-given, is that the Old Testament significantly supports like how we're treating people for immigration policy in the United States right now.
Yeah, 100%. Philip, I'm with you because Jesus was an immigrant. That's not some modern liberal spin. That's in the text. Literally an immigrant, right? Was born in one area, family had to move from persecution, right? A lot of stuff happening there. And of course, Jesus was itinerant in his life, right? So he didn't have a lot of personal possessions, tried to live off the donations of others, and he went all over the place for his ministry. And in the Old Testament, that the Jewish people were moving all the time, and were also like in situations where they were in other people's lands and they had to deal with that and be occupied, right? So like there's a huge theme of minority groups in larger majority groups and surviving and doing what they have to do with that. Christians like to willingly ignore this in the same way they like to willingly ignore all the verses about how rich people can't go to heaven and how you got to treat other people nicely, all this kinds of stuff. And you see this all the time. This is another example of that hypocrisy. If people truly call themselves Christians and truly had this idea that the Bible should be reflected of their values, they would see this story of the immigrant all over the place in the Bible, and they would treat immigrants accordingly. But of course, just like a lot of things from the Bible, people are hypocrites about it. So it's sad to see. Yeah. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, there's like a lot to unpack here. And even just going into the Old Testament issue, it's very contradictory in the perspective of how do we treat foreigners? Because on the one hand, just like you said, you have slavery being endorsed. You have people clearly separated out into their cultural groups and treated differently based on that. You have genocide being endorsed in the Bible, but you also have a lot of passages that talk about respecting people that are foreign and taking care of them and granting them the inheritance. So it's, for example, I have a passage from Jeremiah 7, verses 5-7. For if you truly amend your ways and your doings, if you truly act justly with one another, if you do not oppress the alien, the orphan, and the widow, or shed innocent blood in this place, and if you do not go after other gods to your own hurt, then I will dwell with you in this place, in the land I gave you of old to your ancestors forever and ever. So you have many different perspectives all in the same book. And it just seems like an easy way for Christians to say, to justify whatever they're feeling in the moment. There's no consistent perspective here. And of course, I'm sure a lot of apologists will say, oh, but the context, look at the context. Well, yeah. They have the different context just so you can say, oh, well, in this case, it's okay for me to be a dickhead to people. And this other case, no, you should not be a dickhead to these people. It just gives them so much wiggle room to do whatever they want and still be able to justify it.
Yeah, the context is many of the characters in the stories of the Bible are immigrants and are poor, right? Like that's what the context is, bud. I don't know. It really trips me out. But again, the Bible is just used for whatever people want it to be, and people who want to be mean about it and people who don't want to change their mind about this stuff and remain ignorant are going to flip things around. And that's why the Bible isn't a reliable source of ethics, because people are just going to say whatever they want about it. You got to figure that stuff out from a more than one book, I would say, right? Let's just not use one to inform all of our decisions and policy making. But yeah, that's us talking for a while. Philip, what do you think?
Yeah, actually, that's a good point that Dr. Ben made, is that there is references to how to treat foreigners that are living with the Israelites, whether that's in slavery or as business partners and things like that. That's an interesting point, because I actually wasn't thinking of that. I would like to now address, there's a State Department cable that's coming out next week for full understanding. Basically what it's saying is 75 countries have a pause on immigration, for legal immigration to the United States. And these countries from all around the world, a lot of them are, lower GDP countries, gross domestic product countries, and it's basically stopping all legal immigration on the basis that the people that are immigrating are estranged resources on the United States. And taking that, not talking policy as much, but talking how it's been, how immigration has been, what's the right word, enveloped, encompasses the new, evangelical people. group, and they use
Mm-hmm.
that, and that's their biggest backing is now immigration. So I would like to address how I personally see a major hypocrisy of banning legal immigration for those 75 countries for many passages, specifically in the New Testament, that supports legal immigration, and also bring up the fact that overwhelming studies show that legal immigration brings more tax revenue, and there's more return on investment by bringing legal immigration into the United States than the cost.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have my own personal political opinions on this. I'm pretty radically anti-border on a lot of stuff. But, I don't even have to make that case to point out the fact that, yeah, Christians are obviously being extremely hypocritical when it comes to things. I hear some of them say, oh, well, we just support legal immigration. But if you can't make that process legal, if you can't make it accessible to anybody, then there's no way that people can even do it. It's like rules for thee and not for me. It's, America is a country that is founded by immigrants, and you'd think people would be more respectful of that. But of course, that's not the narrative that people are pushing. Yeah, I think a lot of people are afraid of people from lower income communities because there are implications to that, right? And it could be racism, it could be just general xenophobia. A lot of problems there. But the church, doesn't do a great job of combating that, all things considered. I know the Catholic Church has made some statements here and there recently about this kind of stuff. But by and large, especially we're talking about Protestant Christianity, they are not helping the situation. I'll say that much. I don't know. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same kind of thing I was getting at with the contradictions within the Old Testament and even in the New Testament. It just, even the Bible gives like a lot of wiggle room to say, oh, well, we're going to treat the correct immigrants this way, and we're going to treat the wrong immigrants the other way. So it's like, if you're an immigrant that is working with God and they're trying to assimilate into the people of Israel back in the day, that's okay. But the ones that are worshiping other gods and all that, the people from the wrong places, the places that God doesn't like, then we don't have to like those people. And so I think the Bible does a really good job at setting up biases for people and allowing for justification in that. So
you're totally right. You're totally right, because the Bible does the flip thing too of like, wait a minute, these other people aren't following our customs and cultures. We need to kill them. Right? Yep. Like, we can't coexist with them. It's either our way or the highway. So once again, the Bible's supporting both sides. You can do anything with this book. It's whatever you want it to be. It's a choose your own adventure book, if anything. But anyway, Philip, I don't know how much more I could say other than, yeah, I think I agree with you, man. People are hypocrites. People are not doing the right thing on this.
Yeah, I would like to talk more on, deportation, but that's another topic. I will just leave it as I actually worked receiving a deportation flight in one country that I was working in. It wasn't about the people. I was supporting the aircraft and aircrew. But what I saw there is the people that were working there, very professional, did what they were supposed to do. But what I saw is the dehumanizing of the people coming back to their home country, is that we very much dehumanized the people that we're sending back, and not getting into, people overstayed their visits, people, came in illegally. But what I saw is a lot of dehumanization. And unfortunately, I see Christians embracing, this immigration policy and not embracing the human aspect of it.
Yeah, I agree. We're seeing dehumanization for legal U.S. citizens right now, right? Like, it doesn't even matter right now. We're just seeing a lot of dehumanization across the board, no doubt. But Philip, I appreciate you sharing that experience and for bringing this topic up, because it is extremely important. And obviously, it's a pretty hot topic right now. So I'm glad you gave us the opportunity to give our opinions about it. So thanks for calling, and I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And that was Philip calling in from Kansas there. What did you think of that call, Ben?
Yeah, it brings up a lot of just my ongoing frustration with religion and the way that you can cherry pick whatever you want, and you can justify hatred of other people, mistreatment of other people, and there's no problem with it in the eyes of most Christians. But if it's like they're in favor of, treating immigrants well, if it's the correct ones, or like if in the case of Exodus, like, okay, you feel like this visceral sense of like loyalty to the enslaved Israelite people. And you're like, yes, beat those Egyptians. But then when the script flips later on in the book, then you're more loyal. You're still supposed to be loyal to the Israelites in that social context. And suddenly it's okay to do bad things. So
it sucks. It sucks all around. Yeah. People who, are okay with the folks that they pay to mow their lawn, but suddenly they see some people out enjoying themselves, not, working a job or something in that moment. And it's only, oh, wait, we need to get those people out. Like, it's just like this. You're right. Unless you're the correct kind of immigrant, right? Or even, and sometimes, like I said, it doesn't even happen to just immigrants. It happens to people who just are brown skinned. Okay, let's be fucking real. Yeah. It's just, it's crazy and it's bad. And if I was in the church, I would call this out, but I'm not in the church right now. What I am doing is figuring out my spiritual gifts. So I think maybe we should get back to that as we wait for more of your calls, folks. Call lines are open. We want to talk to you, and let us know what you want to talk about this Sunday. Otherwise, we're going to spiritually figure ourselves out as we
which
continue.
I want to know which like, is it the spiritual gift of being a good slave owner, or being like, like which one of these work for that?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good one. We'll have to figure it out. I there's like 22 different spiritual gifts, and they give you like your top 5. So we're gonna figure that out once we get to that. Just a quick shout out before we keep going as well. We have a tiny.cc/ACA flyers. That's the link you can go to if you want to get printable flyers for Talk Heathen. So if you want to hear more people call into the show and you want to help and volunteer, this is one way to do it. Please, if you're going to do it, post it in an area in which you have permission. But it's one way people might be able to call into the show and see what we're about. So thanks to those who choose to do that in their communities. Let's get to this quiz as we still have open lines waiting to talk to some folks. Next one is, I enjoy the book of Proverbs more than any other book in the Bible. That's a very, let's,
I don't know what that's supposed to be.
I guess if you like wisdom, I think that's the idea, right?
That's going for the spiritual gift of wisdom, probably. It's funny how like this is supposed to be like this very complex thing of like learning who you are, but like a lot of these questions are so on the nose with what they're trying to do. Like it would be so easy for someone to go in and that's the flaw with quizzes in general. It's like you go in and you can change your results based on what you think you want. You're like, oh, I know what this question is implying. I remember doing this back in the church when I was doing the spiritual gifts thing. Like, you know what the cool ones are. And so you can tailor your answers to give you the cool ones and seem like the cool person in your Bible study group. Yeah. It doesn't take a lot of thought to kind of hijack this quiz.
Something to before we keep going, let's bring Flabbergasted back in. I meant to bring him in before we get started here. And there he is. All right, Flabbergasted's back in this conversation. What's up? You started with this journey. We're gonna make sure you finish with it, baby. All right. No man gets left behind on this journey as we figure ourselves out. But yeah, I agree with you, man. It's like, I don't know. You can really do anything with this stuff. I think with the book of Proverbs, I'm going to say 5 on this because the book of Proverbs is inherently more interesting than other books. And the reason why is because you can kind of go through it verse by verse because they're all just like little sayings. You know, you don't have to follow these big, long, boring stories. I think that appealed to me.
Does Proverbs rank higher than Song of Solomon though? Like, I don't know if Proverbs takes the lead for the most enjoyable book in the Bible.
That's debatable. I don't know. Yeah,
I also feel like it's a pretty low bar when you're like, oh, is it the best book in the Bible? It's like, well, have you read the other ones? Like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Next one is, I am passionate about managing details. I don't know how I feel about that question. That feels kind of sad. I'm passionate about managing details.
Are you a micromanager?
Congratulations, you're boring.
Yeah, what is this, a job interview? Like, what the hell? Yeah. Passionate managing details. I mean, I guess so. I don't know. 3. I'm at 3. I don't know if I'm passionate about it. I prefer to pioneer new ministry projects. At first, I was going to say, obviously, hell no. But wait a minute. I think, would I enjoy that, though? Would I prefer that? New ministry projects? Maybe. Again, I'm going back to the cult idea. I think I just want to start a cult.
Is what it sounds like.
Yeah.
At some point in time, I think you're going to need to pitch your cult. I might be interested in joining. I'm just saying.
I got to figure that out. But, I just think it sounds fun. You go in a commune, you live out in the woods with your friends, and you do some rituals. I don't know. It sounds like a good
lots
weekend.
of Kool-Aid.
Yeah. If there's alcohol involved.
I only want to get involved. I only want to get involved if I'm at the top of this pyramid with you. Like, I'm not taking a subordinate position. Like, I want to
up there.
Profit. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Then I'm in.
Okay. All right. I'll put in a 5 on this one.
Having a cult is only fun if I get to take advantage of other people in the process.
It's only fun. A pyramid scheme's great when you're on top. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, absolutely. Why not? I consider myself a craftsman or craftswoman.
Or both.
Or neither. What kind of crafts are we doing? Are we making paper
macaroni art?
Macaroni art.
I was thinking like popsicle stick figures. I make a great popsicle stick figure.
Yeah, I'm not so sure I'm as into that. I would put a 2, I think. No
popsicle stick figures for Dan.
I'm not a popsicle stick figure guy. It was never my forte, I'd say. I'm more interested in starting cults, I think, was my thing.
Yeah. Why not have a cult around macaroni art and popsicle stick figures? Like,
okay, see, this is why Flabbergasted is here, because he's contributing to. What are you bringing to the cult right now, Ben? What's your
pioneering?
Skill?
Well, he's pioneering new stuff. I'm just here to be somebody's bitch. Like, I won't explain my spiritual gift. But I did the quiz already, and I know what it told me. It told me that I'm everyone else's bitch. So
well, you might serve
in those words specifically.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it says. It said, "You sound like a little bitch."
We have a super chat. I can't read the name because it's too blurry right now on the screen. But it was $5. Maybe they could put it back on the screen real quick. I don't know if the crew can do that, so I can read it. There we go. Oh my God, can you read that? I think we're
Valandrith TTRPG.
Yes, thank you so much. And gave $5 Canadian. Said Hobbit Commune. And then some other stuff. The text keeps going way too fast. I can't see the Hobbit Commune. Yeah. Hobbit Commune. That's what it says. First one was with the question mark, of course. Yeah, I don't fit in with the hobbits. I'm too big.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm too tall for that.
I'm gonna hit my head on the cave where Frodo lives or whatever.
Dan's more of the Gandalf in this situation.
Yeah, I'll be Gandalf. Yeah, that'd be cool. You can be a hobbit though, Ben.
Dan makes me look like a hobbit for sure.
Yeah. Well, I've been pushed out of this commune already. Hobbits are only allowed to have one Gandalf, and I'm too tall to be a hobbit. So I guess
we need giants to help defend the commune for the hobbit. So there's a security level thing in there. Maybe they'll ask you some questions like, "Do you know jujitsu or something?" Then you could be the security. That's your spiritual gift.
Security.
Security. Yeah, security. Security skills. Next one is, I sense when situations are spiritually unhealthy. I'm gonna say a 5 on that one. I think I got the skills now. Post-Christian, living. I am greatly concerned about seeing the lost saved. No.
But it doesn't say like the spiritually lost. Like I'm concerned if someone's lost in the woods, I do want them to get saved.
You're so right. Oh my God, you're so right. It's a 5. Yeah. That's a 5.
Yeah.
Man.
If someone's lost in their bigotry and they're calling into the show to defend it, don't you want to save them from that?
That's also true. But
that's
like,
true,
I really like Ben's literal interpretation here. I just want to give somebody GPS coordinates when they need it. Like, yes, I'm down for that. I try to come across loving and caring. I don't know if I want to say I try to come across. I think I try to be loving and caring, right?
That was my thought too. Like, are you trying to be a grifter? Like, you just want to seem like you're loving and caring. Which, in all fairness, that is what churches do really well. Like, they try to come across as loving and caring, but do they actually succeed in that objective? Like, of doing it? No.
And I think it's important to point out the question doesn't ask if you are. It asks if you like to come across. Do you want other people to think that you're loving and caring regardless of if you are?
I guess that means a 5, but it still feels weird. That's a weird 5 for me. Asking God for a list of asking God for a list of big things is exciting to me. Oh, hell yeah. Who doesn't
being a sugar baby?
Yeah. God, I want a new bicycle. I want a new PlayStation. You know. I mean, it's kind of Santa.
Please, God, cure world hunger and create world peace.
Yeah, please cure world hunger, create world peace, and help me win an argument. And I don't know. Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, I'm a big 5 on that one. I find ways to give offerings above my tithe. Well,
12% giver.
I can't remember the last time I gave a tithe, so I think that's a 1, right? Because I'm not actively finding ways to do that.
This is where you see like this one and one of the other ones where it's like generosity being your gift, and then you definitely feel the pressure. If you were told, well, I'm generous, so it's my spiritual gift, it's my calling to put more on the offering plate, especially when it was a physical offering plate where people are watching you put something in it, like that is the social pressure that like, oh, every time I have to go above and beyond because otherwise I'm going against my calling.
You're so right.
The mind games with this are ridiculous.
Yeah, you're so right. I think I think I'm gonna put a 1 on that one because I don't like it. It's really extreme on this. It's either a 1 or a 5 almost every time, it seems like. I believe miraculous healing is for this day and age. I love that one. That's great. No. Say 1 on that. Not a big believer on that. Helping which is awesome because the implication is like you either like just your belief in it is somehow going to give you a spiritual gift.
Right. Well, faith,
how does that work?
Well, faith is a spiritual gift.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's true. So maybe that's what that one goes towards. Helping others is one of my highest achievements. I guess I don't call it an achievement. It's not. We're not on the Xbox leaderboards. You know what I mean? Like I'm just trying to live my best life.
You're not trying to get platinum on the Bible?
Yeah, I'm trying to get like a big ass statue in my name in heaven. You know?
That's how it works, right?
Creating a warm and welcoming home is important to me. Okay, this one's nice. I like this one. I'm gonna say I'm gonna give a 4. Well, 5 maybe. Fuck it. Yeah. I want them to feel comfortable when they get into the cold compound. I think we need to have some nice banners. Welcome to your spiritual home.
Some really nice decorations of macaroni art and popsicle stick figures.
Just when they start to work the fields, they want to feel good about the place that they're staying. You know,
you gotta have a mini fridge and an Xbox and maybe a pool, maybe like a jacuzzi. Like that's
my personal
warm
pool
and welcoming
as cult leader that they have to clean for me. But
and they're welcome to be around it as a privilege for working hard.
They can view it, and it's so nice to look at. You know, and it will be because they should
be grateful that you allow them.
And then you give them the promise that someday, if they work hard enough, someday they'll be allowed to use the pool. Right. But you don't give specific criteria, so they have to wonder and guess how much is good enough. And it's none of it. Like no one's ever good enough. No one's perfect enough for the pool. But you say, well, but someday maybe you'll earn it, and then they'll work harder.
And Christine, the Donut Fiend, gives $5 and says, "Sorry, I'm late today. Great show so far. Thanks so much for the super chat." And I agree, it is a great show so far. And
I kind of want to.
I was just gonna say the pool is only for the spiritually clean, and that's how you know when you've made it. And so far, that's just me. But the rest of you guys will get there as long as you keep working hard. And then, you know.
I was going to say, if you are a theist and you are like really wondering if our parody of this particular approach to religious belief is inaccurate, you should call and tell us why.
That's true, because we
Absolutely
have open lines right now, and we are waiting to talk to you guys about whatever you want, honestly. But I'm going to keep going here. I am burdened to pray for situations in the world. What the hell? I am burdened.
Oh God, please don't make me pray. Please don't make me pray for Suzanne's cancer.
I had such a hard weekend, guys. I had so much praying I had to do that my list was huge. You know?
My list of doing nothing to actually help problems was just so massive. I'm just exhausted from it.
I thought about it really hard, you know?
I asked Sky Daddy to save you.
I'm going to say 1 on that.
It's his problem now.
Yeah. I get specific pieces of information that God reveals that could not have been naturally known. Oh, hell. Yeah, this is the shit I want. When I ever took these tests, guys, I always wanted the spiritual gift of prophecy, because that's the only actual like spiritual superpower you can actually get from these things, right? And get the prophecy. Everybody agree on that? Because you're just you're an X-Men. You're seeing the future at that point. I know that's not what they always mean.
Tongues. Tongues is the other one. That's
tongues is only cool to other people who can speak the tongues and they can understand your crazy nonsense, right? That's kind of the idea, because otherwise it's just crazy nonsense.
Well, I mean, healing could also be considered a supernatural ability. Right?
Yeah, you're right.
Because I feel like a lot of these have some degree of like very low level superpowers. These are like the X-Men who can never get on the team, right? Like the helpers and the discernment and the giving, right? These are the ones who have superpowers that would never make X-Men. But like for the rest of them, like there could be a real supernatural power there. Like, because that's what they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be supernatural abilities, which I think makes it even more ridiculous when you look at what the list of all the options are.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no, like 1 on that one, but I really want to put 5. I wish I could.
And to go back to your point, Flabbergasted, that there's supposed to be supernatural gifts for believers. So these are supposed to be things that you only have if you're a believer. But so you're saying that people that are secular can't have the ability to do things nobody else wants to do, or can't have the ability to feel bad for somebody that's hurting, or be generous. Like those are only things you get if you're spiritual. So like all of that just debunks the whole premise.
And this is why you see a lot of religious believers walking around talking about non-believers as if they are incapable of empathy, as if they are inherently bad and evil people, simply because we don't adhere to your bullshit.
Yeah. Fair point. Here's the next one. I prefer to take the lead whenever necessary. You know, as a cult leader, spiritual leader, I would say this is a 5.
That's your job.
For me. Yeah, it's a job. And you know, that's what being the lead host is as well, is being the lead spiritual sort of conductor on this train we got going on.
I think the best thing about this question too is it's not I'm good at it or I'm talented in this. It's, I prefer it. I suck at being in charge, but damn it, I want to be.
I prefer telling other people what to do. You know, that's a spiritual gift right there. I don't know what that is, but it's what I got. Next one is narcissism. I'm very sensitive to sad stories. How is that a spiritual gift? What? Just being you have
supernatural tears that you can
cry
shed
when you watch The Notebook. Like that's your fucking spiritual
supernatural empathy. Again.
Wow, that's crazy.
It's odd that there's so much here about empathy, yet a lot of religious people are lacking in the empathy category. So
yeah, I guess I'll put a 3. I don't know. Miracles often happen when I'm nearby. That's
such a sense of self-importance with that one.
Hey, bud, you know why your grandma didn't get healed? I wasn't nearby, dog. That's why. You should have invited me to the hospital. I don't know. I guess that's
if you come hang out by my pool, your cancer might get cured.
Yeah, that's right. Come to the pool. I'm putting a 1. I don't think I'm making any miracles happen. I enjoy connecting, caring, and coaching others. Coaching probably doing a lot of heavy lifting in that sentence, because that's basically just the prefer to tell people what to do one. Yeah, I'll put 5 because, as a spiritual leader, we got to coach people into doing labor at the labor facility.
At least this one's actually talking about actually like enjoying doing it instead of wanting people to view you as doing it. So at least it's better than the other question.
Yeah. Again, it's more personality type than spiritual gift, but whatever.
And I will say about the coaching thing, it's like a lot of these, and we'll get into the specific spiritual gifts and how they are often very gendered, but coaching, so like pastoring or leading is specifically a male thing in a lot of churches. But coaching, women are allowed to be coaches because that's less than a pastor. So
it's
a lot of
it's
that
not direct leadership.
Too.
It's like an advisory role. True. Next one. Confronting someone with sin in his or her life is not hard. It's not fucking hard. Hey, you're fucking gay? Cool, bro. It's pretty simple. Don't know what that's supposed to be. I guess it's like, how good are you at calling other people out? That's what they want to know.
Which we're how good at doing that on this show.
Yeah, we do that quite a bit. I think we're all 5 on that one.
I think we just have a different definition of sin.
Yeah, that's also true. Okay, next one. It bothers me when people sit around and do nothing. All right, the cult leader thing is it's picking up. It's picking up. The fun answer would be a 5 on that one. I don't know if I actually give a shit though. I think I'll do a 3.
Back to work.
Yeah. Gotta harvest the grain on the compound.
You did do the whip motion earlier, so I think you need to put a 5 on that.
Yeah, you think I should put a 5? All right, I'll do a 5. I share biblical truth with others in hopes of their personal growth. You know what, guys, that's a 5. We were just talking about the Bible, and we were sharing some biblical truth, I think, for people's personal growth, right?
I think the thing people don't like about it is the biblical truth we're sharing is how BS it is.
It's a bit different.
How unfounded it is.
Yeah, it's a bit different.
How
but that's
unreliable it is.
Yeah, we're in on that. I pray in tongues daily. Euphemistically or literally? Because there's a difference there.
What's the difference between like speaking in tongues and like singing jazz, like doing scat jazz?
Doing scat?
Like, is that the same? Seems like the same kind of thing.
You think
one is way cooler.
John is
scat is cooler, but
I'm praying in tongues daily. I guess so. I don't know. That's gonna be a 1 for me. When I study scripture, God gives me unique insights. I don't think God's really doing anything, so I guess that's a 1. Not great. Creating a task list is easy and enjoyable for me. I don't fucking know. Not really.
The ADHD in me killed that one.
Yeah, it's that's just, again, we're going back to administrative, corporate.
Right. It's like, who's got the spiritual gift of Excel spreadsheets?
Yeah.
Here you go.
Well, let me call my partner, because that is definitely my partner's spiritual gift.
Yeah.
Excel spreadsheets.
Well, how come God's not giving people unique insights on how to do specific formulas you need for these spreadsheets? That's what I want to know.
Right. I'm getting the special insight that we didn't get enough tithes to cover our overhead. So we need to...
I want that.
We need to do some more soliciting.
Where's that at? Anyway, I am attracted to ministries that start new churches. Well, the cult leader Dan says yes, right? Because, is this a multi-franchised cult? Do we have multiple locations, or are we just like a singular sort of denomination? That's what we got to figure out.
Depends on what you want. Depends on what you want.
Well, I guess when we think about it from the ACA, do we start our shows kind of like churches in this metaphor? Because that could be a 5 on that.
I love that you switch some of these to being completely metaphorical
It's just
and others to be completely literal.
You're just like, I'm looking forward to seeing how this is clipped. So all those Christians out there can be like, look, the atheists really are just a religion. They're starting their own atheist churches.
It's kind of whatever we want it to be. I don't know. I guess I'll put it at a 3 because we don't know. Building something with my hands is very rewarding to me. I don't know. Maybe, I guess.
You do Legos?
Yeah, I kind of like it. What about you guys? You build stuff with your hands? What do you
I
make?
have 4 Lego sets behind me, just waiting for me.
Yeah,
So
okay,
yes.
you're a 5 on that one, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not as much of a building type person.
Yeah, it's okay to me. I can pinpoint issues or problems before others.
But we're good at that.
Yeah, we love telling other people what their problems are.
People call in to give us their best arguments, and we're very quick to tell them where they're wrong.
That's true. Speaking of which, folks, we still have open lines, so you should call in so we can talk to you about it.
If you want us to test our spiritual gifts of pointing out problems in your argument, definitely give us a call.
Yeah, I feel like the fact they're not calling in is just the admission on the theist part that our caricature of this belief is just spot on and accurate. Yeah, every theist watching this is being like, no, this is actually what I believe, and I support this because I'm not willing to call in and point out why I think you're wrong.
I think that's completely fair and neutral and has no other connotations.
I have zero biases whatsoever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I enjoy sharing the gospel with a total stranger. Well, we do talk to strangers on the show.
But we don't share the gospel, though. That's the key piece here. Is that,
yeah.
Do you enjoy sharing the gospel with a total stranger?
I don't know. Have you heard of our Lord and Savior Ichiro Oda? And his wonderful gospel of One Piece.
Yeah. Maybe it's a 2 for me, just because like the gospel could be many things. I look for ways to be an encouragement to other people. Do I look for ways? I don't know. Am I trying to be? I guess. I got a 4. I trust that God has my back in every situation. Going to be a hard no for me, dog. I don't think God has my back. I don't know.
Hey, have you read the Bible? Like there are so many people who God screwed over massively.
I don't know.
So, like apparently he can do that if he wants to. If the point of Christianity is to submit to God in every way, then like if he wants you to fail, if he wants you to die brutally, he's allowed to do that.
Yeah, I wonder how Abraham would have answered this. Right. God's got my back. Hey, Abraham, go kill your son. Fuck.
Yeah. But he still had his back at the end, though. Right?
Yeah. I mean, as long as you don't take into consideration the emotional trauma, that's fine. Right. Sure.
You got to wonder what would happen if you said no. Would he still have his back? I don't know. Anyway, making more money means that I can give more. Oh, the cult leader in me says that has to be a 5, but like I don't know if that's true to my actual personality. I
feel like that's the answer for the cult follower.
Yeah,
because you want them to give you the money.
It'd be awesome if I had more money.
But think about it. It's like this could also be seen as like a tax the rich statement. It's like if you have no money,
exactly.
you should be giving it to your communities and you should be helping out people. So
yeah, that's true. God has used me to bring healing to those who are sick. Well, that's a 1.
This is one that I had a debate with myself on because I don't believe God has done it. Yeah, but like I've brought me to bring healing to those.
You've objectively healed
my job.
You've healed more people probably than anybody that's been a host on this show. So yeah,
I've healed more people than God has.
I was going to say that. That's so true.
Yeah, you've healed more than all of us combined, Ben. So that's good for you on that.
You didn't even have to rely on magic for it. Which
of course, they would say you haven't actually healed people because you've never like prayed over them and stuff. That you just give people like medicine and shit.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, healing is not on my list of spiritual gifts that I got. So
that sucks.
It's not there.
That's stupid. Oh no. All right, we have we got like 10 or so, 10-ish more, 12-ish. So we'll just keep going here. But again, lines are open. So let us know if you want to talk to us. Being a part of the process is fulfilling to me. Depends on the process. Like, am I sitting on the cuck chair? Because that's not particularly fulfilling to me.
Hey, we don't kink shame here.
If it is for others. I'm not kink shaming. I'm just saying I'm not enjoying that.
I mean, we're part of the process. There are people who have deconstructed their beliefs because of what we do on this show, and we've been part of that process.
True.
So,
okay. All right. I'm gonna give it a 3, just because I'm still hesitant about the cuck chair thing. I tend to make total strangers feel at home. Yeah. Again, we want to make the compound very nice to look at. So give it a 5 on that one. People often describe me as a prayer warrior. That's a solid 1. Don't know if any of us are getting that one, lads. I think we're 1s on that, unless you have arguments otherwise.
It depends. I when I did my quiz, I answered it based off of what my positions were and beliefs were when I was religious, to the best of my recollection. So
yeah. Now,
a
that's
little higher than a 1 for me.
Isn't that funny? Because you'd think your spiritual gifts would be like a set thing, right? But I guess if you answer differently now, does that imply your spiritual gifts are different? How does that work?
well, we don't. I guess that brings up another question: is if you were spiritual, like, do you get to keep the gifts after you leave, or do they get taken away?
Policy? Yeah. Is it like
the Bible never mentions.
Yeah, my spiritual gift was repossessed, unfortunately.
Yeah, I had to foreclose on my spiritual gifts. I couldn't pay the bank back.
And when we get to talking about the results, though, like I do actually feel like the things do kind of match up, but it also feels like horoscopes. You could probably make anything match if you try hard enough.
Right. Just because I was testing this before the show to make sure that this would work, I put in 1 for every single thing, and I still got like a list of 5. So they're still valuing. I don't know. There's still something to these. I think the number 1 was administration when I did all 1s on these. So it was like, yeah, I guess that's the least spiritual gift you could possibly do.
It feels like one of those like pop culture quizzes where, like, no matter what you put, they're just like randomizing the answer. Like,
right.
You're this famous Star Wars character.
Yeah. Next one. Others often affirm a specific insight that I expressed about them personally. What the hell does that mean?
I knew that about you. I was right.
Others often affirm a specific insight that I expressed about them. So that's just saying you notice things about people, and they're like, yeah, I do that thing.
Like,
right?
Apparently how my favorite color is purple, even though it's not.
That's just,
it's like,
that's just being a person.
Are you able to cold read? Are you able to cold read somebody?
A cold read? Because it doesn't say, I guess it says specific. So is the implication that you would only be able to infer it or wouldn't have direct knowledge? Boy, I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
How well can you tell things about people that they don't share, but you get it and you get it right?
Right. So this is the prophecy thing, right? This is like,
kind of.
Can you do that? I don't know. I'm going to say 4 because I just want to be a prophet. Delegate responsibilities to. I delegate responsibilities to accomplish tasks. Again, this is the being a boss. This is bossing people around.
Yeah.
I work as a project manager, so I guess I kind of do that. So I'll put 5. I am motivated to help those who are less fortunate. Yes, we'll say 5 on that. I think we all try to be here to help people, right? So, we're good on that. I have a constant hunger to see God's miraculous power. That's a 5, right?
Yeah, we want to see. We haven't seen it yet, but we're waiting for it.
I'm hungry for it, baby. Feed it to me. I want to see it. Okay. I enjoy walking with someone in times of difficulty. Well, I mean, a lot of my friends live remotely, so I can't really walk with them. But I would say, yeah, I want to try to help people. I don't know. There's nothing really funny about that. It's just
load into a Minecraft server with one of your friends and like walk around while they talk about their problems.
Minecraft. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, find an online game or something. I enjoy hearing passionate and clear preaching of the truth. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's what we all like that. That's a 5.
That's what I spend so much time listening to science lectures. That's exactly what that is.
Yep. That's true. And I like when we have good calls as well. So that makes sense. Almost done. I like to do small things that others pass over. I don't know. I don't know. That's a spiritual gift.
That's the are you somebody's bitch question.
Yeah.
Do the spiritual gift of being someone's bitch.
You're right.
It makes me think about a drill sergeant who's going around looking for that one speck of dust that you missed during basic. That's what I think of.
Yeah, I don't like being anybody's bitch, so maybe I should be like a 1 or 2 on that. Okay, I enjoy knowing biblical details and helping others to understand them. That's a 5. I do like knowing
literally the job description here.
Yeah. I'm so curious what I'm going to get from this, guys. This is great. 2 more.
Yeah.
Praying in the Spirit is encouraging and important to me. That's going to be a no for me, dog. Not very important. Unless there's a redefinition of prayer and or spirit that makes this funnier. But I don't think there is at this current time. When faced with difficulty, I tend to make wise decisions and choices. Oh boy. Yeah, let me just put a 1 on that one. Yeah,
I feel like just because you are in charge doesn't mean you're good at it. I feel like that's the emphasis here. We've asked a bunch of, do you want to be in charge? Do you want to be in charge? Do you want to be in charge? Are you good at being in charge?
You think you're a smart guy kind of question? Yeah. Like, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna put 3. I don't know if I always make the wisest decisions. All right, I'm hitting submit. Oh, I have to fill out the email field. I thought
Bob the Builder at bobthebuilder.com.
Yeah, I'm just you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna see what happens when I put my atheistcommunity.org email in here and see. If
that's what we have it for, right? For exactly these purposes.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, I got it. You guys want to see my top 5 spiritual gifts?
What do you got?
Okay. Yeah. All right. So
it's about you.
I guess it's okay, so this is the order. First one is discernment. I have the ability of discernment. Okay, I guess I like figuring out the truth of things. So maybe that works. The gift of discernment is the divine strength or ability to spiritually identify falsehood, to distinguish between right and wrong motives and the spiritual forces at work in situations. Okay, that is not what I thought that was.
You did spiritually figure out my favorite color, though. So, you know.
Maybe that's my.
You really weighed that particular moment pretty heavily.
Maybe that's it, gang. Huh? I don't know. I'm a discerner. And then they list a bunch of Bible verses. So that's kind of cool. Next one, number 2 is hospitality. The gift of hospitality is the divine strength or ability to create warm, welcoming environments for others in places such as your home, office, or church. That's divine strength, huh? It's
divine hospitality.
You're a supernatural party hoster, is what it is.
I did not realize it took divine strength to put up a live, laugh, love poster like in my bathroom, but apparently.
I actually think the live, laugh, love poster goes in opposition of actual proper hospitality.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So maybe it takes divine strength
to not put that up
because it'd be a bad idea otherwise. Yeah, I probably agree with you with that. Interesting that that's number 2. Number 3 is teaching. Oh, so that's cool. The gift of teaching is the divine strength or ability. These are all divine strengths, huh? To study and learn from the scriptures, primarily to bring understanding and depth to other Christians. You know, I'd say that's fair. I think we do that quite a bit, you know. Number 4 is leadership. There we go. There's that cult energy. That co-leader energy coming in. The gift of leadership is the divine strength or ability to influence people at their level while directing and focusing them on the big picture, vision, or idea. Folks, I know you guys are scything the grain fields, but when this compound gets bigger, you got to see it for the bigger picture. You realize the pool is going to get bigger and it's going to look nicer. And won't I just look so good swimming in it? I mean,
the bigger the pool, the greater the chance you'll eventually be able to get in it.
True. Yeah. Yep. That's also
the bigger you make my pool, the more likely it is you get a few droplets of water splashed on you.
Yeah, 100%. And my last one here is pastor/shepherd. The gift of pastor/shepherd is the divine strength or ability to care for the personal needs of others by nurturing and mending life issues. Okay, I feel like that falls under leadership kind of a bit. But maybe not. I guess leader, you could be a dick, like you don't actually care about them. Yeah, I guess that's the difference. Interesting.
So mine are similar. My last two are the same in the same order. So my number 4 was leadership and 5 was pastor shepherd.
Okay.
But my first 3, so this is where I've got such a soapbox about the ones that are my top 2. My number 1 is the gift of helps, which like is always the one that you don't want to get when you take the test. So like I remember back in the past, it's because you're somebody's bitch. Like that's what this is. And even more so, so it says the gift of helps is the divine strength or ability to work in a supportive role for the accomplishment of tasks in Christian ministry with the ability to often see the need before others do. And my big issue with this one is like, so as a humanist, I think that helping people and like doing the things that need to get done is a positive. I don't think it's a divine thing, but like it's good to do the grunt work sometimes and help the mission succeed. But how this was utilized in the church a lot was that this was a women's spiritual gift, because you as a woman, you were not allowed to be in leadership over men, and you were just not taken seriously in terms of the cool skills. Like if a woman had the gift of prophecy, like the woman's just making stuff up, or like or has a mental health disorder, or like something like that. And so this is just a way to have the separate but equal mentality of like, oh, but you have your own spiritual gifts that make you special, and that is serving men. That's serving the people around you. And isn't it special that you do that so well? How about you stay quiet and keep making sandwiches for the congregation? And so that's something that I hated that I got this, because that really, like, it just brings back some bad memories to me. But number 2 is in a similar vein. Like I see it as a strength as a humanist. I see this as something that you just should have, and that's the gift of mercy, or I would just call this empathy. So the divine strength or ability to feel empathy and to care for those who are hurting in any way. Like that is just being not a dick. That's true. It's the spiritual gift of not being a dick to people, which is like, if only certain people in the church get this gift, is that implying that everyone else has the permission to be a dick because it's not their spiritual gift to do so?
Yeah, I don't have to prioritize being nice, because that's not my spiritual gift. My spiritual gift is leadership. So I'm just going to sit here and tell you what to do. It's not my job to be nice.
Then you get to fight.
And
that's how we get Dan over here.
That's right.
And this also like often plays out as like the more feminine quality of, oh, you care about people. You aren't strong or authoritative enough to be the one calling people out for their bullshit. You're the one that has empathy and cares for people. Like anything empathy and caring was seen as feminine or less than, which is wild, that if they view femininity as less than and they view empathy as feminine, then like clearly Christianity isn't a loving religion, and does not support that type of behavior,
which is
like
weird,
that
because
is less than behavior.
Jesus kind of wasn't like that, right? Like Jesus was supposedly caring about people. I guess the implication that Jesus is a femboy, I don't know if that's what they would say if they met like a modern day Jesus, but yeah, that is kind of
femboy
weird.
Jesus. I'm here for that.
Yeah.
And then exhortation was my third one, but I know that Flabbergasted also got that one, so I'll kind of pass the torch over.
Yeah, I got exhortation and teaching, my number 1 and my number 4, which like I was a teacher for over a decade. That is very much my thing. Then I got hospitality and mercy. I answered it based off of what I was like. And a lot of these things I feel are actually very accurate to me today still. Right. Exhortation, hospitality, mercy, teaching, and discernment. So I can magically read minds as well, which is great. And I can tell you about stuff so you can know them better.
Yeah, but you know what fucking sucks? You know what sucks? None of us got the gift of prophecy. That's the only one that matters. I want to be a prophet, damn it.
And you were trying to. You were like trying to manipulate the quiz, which is the problem with these quizzes.
Just a little bit. I wanted it, and I still didn't get it.
Yeah, and as on a pedantic note, as a teacher, this is why quizzes like this suck, and why you should never ever rely on them, because when people take these quizzes, they don't answer them honestly. It's so uncommon to see people answer these things on it. They do exactly what Danny. Well, I want to think about myself. Oh, I want this answer, so I'm going to go this way. And I wonder how many people have taken quizzes like this in the religious sense and then use it to justify the way they act and behave, and end up being really shitty people to other people as a result of it. Because that never happens.
Yeah, it's totally true. It's totally true. Folks, we have somebody in the line waiting to talk to us. So let's try to get back to this premise of being a call-in show for like 2 seconds. And
practice your gift of exhortation.
We can do that. Yeah, I'm about to exhort Flabbergasted to the background here as
back to the closet.
Take the next house back to the Flabbergasted closet. Woo! You go. Thanks for joining us for that fun segment here. And let's get to our next caller quickly here. I'm going to use my leadership skills and discernment to figure out that this is what we need to do next. We have Ann calling us from California. Ann, thanks so much for calling Talk Heathen. How can we help you today?
Hi guys, how are you today?
Doing great. I'm feeling discerning today, I'd say. You know, and let me use my hospitality to make sure that you are comfortable and are welcome to the show. So yeah, just getting that set up for you. Anyway, what you got for us, Ann?
Well, I have a question about certain words that I don't know if every religion does it, but at least in Christianity, they use words like shepherd, flock, lambs, and like to me, you know, I didn't think about it when I was being indoctrinated as a kid that much, but is now like to hear them like that sounds like a red flag.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think so. Those metaphors of shepherding and stuff, I think they were probably extremely legitimate and made sense if you lived in a community of people that had shepherds, right? Like that was, you know, part of your daily life. And obviously shepherds still exists today, right? But for most of us, that's not something that we encounter on the daily. You know, for the people groups that had those kinds of metaphors, I think that probably made sense. But yeah, it does seem a bit weird, creepy, you know, not great in today's parlance, right?
Right. It's because where do shepherds lead the lambs?
To the slaughter, or to get their wool or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a fucking shepherd, but yeah, no, I get you. It is, and people will use it as an insult too, right? That's why people are like, "Oh, wake up, sheeples." You know, calling people sheep is just saying that people are followers, right? You know, sheep are herd animals, so they will follow. That's why shepherding is a thing. So yeah, it's not great. I don't think people should be sheep. I think people should. I'm not saying they should be shepherds. I'm just saying people should probably have their own lives, you know, and figure out stuff for themselves. But that could be hard for some people.
Yeah. I mean, maybe some people, they need to feel part of some group or something.
Definitely.
I mean, see, my definition is probably inaccurate of religion. Is something that was invented by a few people to control a lot of people. I don't know if that's true or not. My definition may be incorrect.
I mean, that's definitely true for some religions, right? No doubt. I think these kinds of ideas can kind of develop organically over time without any sinister implications, though. The truth is, religion does, as you kind of alluded to, provide people with a sense of identity, right? Provide people with a sense of cohesion, life narrative, life purpose, you know, for better or worse, religion does do those things. And that's part of the appeal. And I think all those things can happen organically without it being designed top down, as some people say. I think like Christianity is an example of that. I think, I don't know if Jesus maybe Jesus is considered a cult leader and probably was, right? But I think there's a lot of people who are helping and serving in their church communities today that genuinely mean well and genuinely want what's best for them and don't have to be nefarious about it. Unfortunately, when you have a structure like that, though, it's always going to be susceptible to people taking advantage of that, which is why you have to be careful. But I don't know. That's just kind of the world we live in. What do you think, Ben?
Yeah, I co-sign all of that. And there's definitely like a lot of language definitely like used to, number one, say that God is watching out for you, like the Lord is my shepherd, all that stuff. Like you feel the sense of protection, you feel the sense of belonging, that you're part of this flock together. And kind of with that, it also keeps people in line. It's like, you know, your place. God is the shepherd. He's going to lead you where you need to go. Don't step out of line. And even then, like there's some imagery in the Bible that I remember being like very positive imagery, like, you know, the parable of the lost sheep, where the sheep goes off, gets into trouble, the shepherd goes and finds the sheep and brings the sheep back. Like it's a nice heartwarming story, but at the same time it's like, what if that sheep wanted to leave or something? Like, nope, you got to come back. You have to come back. This is your place.
True.
Who knows how the shepherd was actually treating those sheep if it's anything like the God of the Bible. Right. Maybe that sheep didn't want to come back.
Yeah, there's definitely always been a hierarchy part of the religion, for better or worse, that again has those troubling implications of what happens when you don't follow the flock, so to speak. But yeah, Ann, what do you think?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's to keep people in line. I mean, and I understand about hierarchy because I was raised Catholic and we were told that the Pope was infallible.
Yep. They're all about hierarchy in the Catholic Church. That's like one of the big things, you know? And yeah, isn't it funny how the Pope is always and will forever be a man? And same thing with all the archbishops and all the, you know, the cardinals, right? Always got to be dudes, you know, something interesting about that. Yeah, women are great serving the church, but these other roles, no, well, you know, that's not biblical, right? Or something like that. I don't know. There is something to be said about that for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And if there's time, I have another question.
Yeah, go for it.
Getting a little late on time. Well, sometimes I hear, you know, of course, Christians, oh no, that's not a true Christian, you know, that no true Scotsman fallacy. But sometimes I'll hear like non-believers or non-Christian, oh, you know, well, these so-called Christians, you know, when they're talking about judgmental people or people, you know, that want to punish people and call themselves Christian or force their beliefs on people and control their lives. But then, you know, from about a year now of watching these kinds of shows and learning more about the Bible, I'm thinking, well, maybe the judgmental ones and the persecuting ones might be the true Christians, but I don't know what it means to be a true Christian, I guess.
Well, Ann, I'll tell you this from my perspective as an atheist, right? Former Christian, now an atheist. A Christian to me is whoever somebody says they're a Christian. That's it. There's no other qualifiers for me. I don't think they have to follow the Bible. I don't even think they have to believe in God necessarily. If someone says they're a Christian, I'm going to take it at face value. Why? Because Christianity has had so many different ideas attached to it, it might as well mean nothing, right? It's whatever people say it is. And that's going to depend on time and culture and place. So there's no point arguing about it for me at the end of the day. People are going to call themselves Christians, whether you agree with them or not. I just take people where they're at. If they say they're Christian, that's it. You know, that's really the only criteria for me. Do you agree with that, Ben?
Yep, I would say so.
Yeah.
I agree with that too, because I've had that. I have had that kind of way of thinking before, you know, and I guess I've kind of strayed from it a little bit. But yeah, I used to say, you know, anyone who calls himself a Christian is a Christian.
Yeah.
I mean, you know.
And look, if someone's being an asshole, you don't say, oh, you're not being very Christian. You say they're being an asshole because they're being an asshole, right? We don't have to use this standard of, oh, you're not living up to your Christian ideals, because I don't care about the Christian ideals. The Christian ideals are not my ideals. My ideals of what it means to be a good person is going to be independent of what it means to be a good person from Christianity. Yeah, there's going to be some overlap, but there's going to be enough differences to where I want to make sure that that distinction is made. I used to think being a good person meant being the best Christian you can be. And that's just not true, right? Being the best person means being the best person. That's it. Has nothing to do with what Jesus thinks of me or God thinks of me or what other Christians think of me. It has to be what I do with people in my relationships with them. So, you can go that track of, oh, these people, they're not living up to the Bible or they're not being the best Christians. At the end of the day, it's all made up. So, who cares? The points don't matter, Yeah,
that is true. I guess sometimes I think the only way it does matter is when they get involved in government and want to pass on their beliefs through law.
Yes.
And then I always wonder, okay, if the people who say this is a Christian nation, and I always want to ask, okay, well, which denomination of Christianity is it?
Right. Yeah, you make a good point there. Yeah, because as long as Christians are arguing about it, we'll never get an answer. It's not like over time we've we've coalesced on the number of denominations, right? If it just keeps getting bigger, so they're not actively figuring that situation out. It seems like it seems like it's a bit more fragmented. But yeah, it's definitely important to talk about that distinction when talking about government, because people are going to impose their idea of Christianity in all sorts of ways, and it's a problem. It's not great. It's not good. Anyway, Anne, was there anything else you wanted to talk to us about before we let you go?
No, but I really enjoyed this short conversation. Like I said in my super chat, I was a little late to the game today, so sorry about that. So
don't apologize. It's fine. It's on YouTube. You can watch it whenever you want, but we do appreciate you watching live, and also appreciate you for super chatting and for calling in. I mean, you're the perfect watcher. You're doing it all. So congratulations to you. We'll give you a special place in heaven.
You have the spiritual gift of being the perfect supporter.
The perfect Talk Heathen watcher. Yes, that's great. So put that on your resume.
Honor.
Yeah. Anyway, and thanks so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. And with that, we're getting close to the end of the show. Ben, what did you think of today's show?
It was hilarious. And I have to tell you something. So after we finished up the spiritual gifts quiz, I did something. I went back in because I was like, I wonder if it's even possible to get prophecy from that quiz.
Yeah.
So I put 1 for everything except for the stuff that seemed like supernatural.
Yeah.
And what I got was number 1 was word of knowledge. Number 2 is discernment. 3 is miracles. 4 is tongues and interpretation, and 5 is healing. I don't even know if prophecy is in the quiz.
No. Well,
I don't even know if it's possible to get it.
You know what, then, Ben? It's not a true Christian quiz. That's it.
Ooh.
Now we're making that stand. Now I'm getting back in the game.
Yeah.
Let's fight about it. What's Christian and what's not? Man, that sucks. It should be in there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't need no quiz to tell me if I'm a prophet or not. Jesus didn't need a quiz to tell him if he was a prophet or not. So
yeah, let's see Jesus's quiz results.
Yeah, let's see him. I want to see what his spiritual gifts is. He thinks he's got it all. He can't have all of them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
this is a great show. I really liked this one today. It was great.
Yeah, today was really good. We also didn't do the top 5 Patreon announcements. Do you want to do that real quick, because we should have done that way earlier, and we need to make sure we give a shout out.
Yeah, we got so distracted. Let me pull it up real quick. Hold on.
I can start if you're still looking for it.
No, I got it right here.
Okay, gotcha.
The top 5 patrons of the week. So these are the top 5 spiritually best people in our community. We have Oops All Singularity, Dingleberry Jackson, Kalevi Helvetti, Carolyn Beegert, I'm so sorry about butchering your name, Scott, and an honorable mention for Thomas Adams. And if you want to get on this list, if you want to be the most generous, show off your spiritual gift of generosity, then you can go to Patreon at tiny.cc/PatreonTH, and you can get on the list to show how spiritually generous you are.
All of you guys get 15 minutes in the pool, collectively though. So you got to figure out who gets what.
Share.
So yeah, it's not all at once, you know. So keep that in mind. And last but not least, we have to thank the awesome Flabbergasted for helping us out today and being our backup host and joining us on our spiritual quiz journey. Thank you, Flabbergasted, for being a part of that.
Glad to be here.
What was your spiritual gift again? Teaching? Yeah,
teaching,
teacher, right?
discernment. Yeah, I was a teacher for over a decade, and now I've decided to do something that is not so.
I think we discerned that having you on with us on this journey was a good idea. I don't know, I was trying to make some sort of connection. It didn't really come work. Whatever. I'm just, I'm trying my best here.
I'll pretend that it was perfect. It was
okay.
It was great.
Thank you. Yeah,
I'm
use your discernment to
emotionally.
figure out that. Yeah, that you should say that it was perfect. I'd say, folks, we are at the end of today's show at Talk Heathen. I really appreciate everybody watching today. I hope you guys had a good time. We'll get some love rings going on at this time. There we go. That's a spiritual gift right there, huh? Being able to do some love rings.
Yeah, leave in the comments below what you think the Talk Heathen spiritual gift should be. We'll take your suggestions.
Yeah, that's a good point on that. Just remember, folks, as we wrap up today's show, if you don't believe, this is your community, and we appreciate you being here. If you do believe, we don't hate you.
We're just not convinced.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you next time.
We want the truth. So watch Truth Wanted live Fridays at 7 p.m. Central. Call 512-991-9242 or visit tiny.cc/call TW.